Hey, it's September the 16th. Yeah, I'm heading over to the Simi Valley Courthouse, not because I got to be there, but for support for, the tenants of Crosnoe, because it is Crosnoe versus Baldwin today. And I just want to be there for moral support, and if they need me as a witness, hopefully I can help. But I definitely want to see. Okay, so I'm just leaving the courthouse. Wow. Yeah, so Crosnoe was at her finest, of course, pulling out the fake, nervous, crying, woe is me personality, and she used the same lie on them, in the case with them that she used with me, that because okay, let me back up. When I had seized her checking account, she claimed that she was not able to pay her taxes on her home. And now she's claiming because these people are living there, she was not able to pay her taxes on her home. All right, I'm back home. And yeah, I'm really glad I went to court today, even though I wasn't required to be there. I definitely wanted to be there for Tom and Cynthia for moral support and as a witness, should they require me. And actually, they started to pull me up as the case was ending, so that's all right. They managed to keep pointing at me, I guess, on certain things they were saying regarding, the fact that Tom had been asked by Linda to set up a security camera system so she could spy on me. So, yeah. But when she started the phony crying, we all just looked at each other, and it was like, we really were trying to figure out, is this a fake phony cry like she always does, or is this a real cry? Because, deep down we were all, at least Tom and Cynthia and myself, were hoping that this cry was for real, because she has just caused so much grief to so many people intentionally that she needs to feel a little flustered. It needs to at some point hit her that she's just getting all this crap due to her own decisions in life. But yeah, she made up the lie that, that because of me, she couldn't pay her house taxes. And then she used the exact same lie, almost word for word, that because of Tom and Cynthia, she couldn't pay her house taxes, and then she got charged the late fee, and then she got da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah. So, in the meantime, Commissioner Snyder, she was there, and she noted that I was there, and then she, at one point, her and I were in that room by ourselves, other than the bailiff and the little clerk there. But, oh my gosh, it was the most longest 15 minutes. No talking. She didn't say anything to me. I didn't say anything to her. And, yeah. I told Tom and Cynthia, since Commissioner Snyder decided to take it under submission and not give her ruling as to whether or not Tom and Cynthia have to pay Crosnoe $8,000 for being a tenant there, that I would let them know as soon as it, goes up, because it'll take like 3 to 4 weeks before it'll actually be posted on what the decision is, and I can give them a copy of that. And if for any reason the judge still grants Crosnoe everything she wants, then they can appeal it, at least, because the defendant. So, yeah. I'm glad I went to court today. And, I'm glad I got to watch Crosnoe do her little act. And yeah, it was a bit of a surprise because Terry Gampson, her ex-tenant from 2 years ago, was there. The same Terry Gampson who was a witness that, David Alexander elder abused Crosnoe, and the same Terry Gampson who showed up at my court date as a witness that I needed a restraining order because I harass Crosnoe, which of course I don't. I ignore that lady as best as I can. But, the more I ignore her, the more she goes out of her way to demand my attention, and I just don't even give her that opportunity to speak with her. You know, I just go straight to the police department. But yeah, okay. So Terry Gampson was there, and you know, her car has been at Linda's house now since that court date on April 29th. So maybe she sold her the car. I don't know. I just know that it was a surprise to see her there today. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I went to court today. I saw a lot of stuff I needed to see. Oh my gosh, good morning. Not really, but I mean, so yesterday was court, and Commissioner Snyder said she would take it under submission, you know, evidence. Clearly there was none other than Linda crying. So, okay, here you go. First thing this morning, didn't even take into consideration there was no rental contract, there was no nothing, right? Court orders judgment entered for plaintiff Linda Crosnoe against defendant Thomas Baldwin and defendant Cynthia Hill on the amended plaintiff's claim filed by Linda Crosnoe for the principal amount of $6,930.96, joint and several. Now, you know, Thomas and Cynthia are currently living in their truck and or at hotels. Clearly, they don't have a pot to piss in, as the saying goes, and there's no way they can afford to pay this. And so they're going to have to appeal, but it almost makes me feel like Commissioner Snyder did this, again, a knee-jerk reaction, because for whatever reason, she falls for Linda Crosnoe's nonstop perjury. Her fake medical issues, her crying, her tears, it works for her in front of Commissioner Snyder. But there was no legal reason to award Linda Crosnoe on this one. She invited them to live there with her. There was no rental contract. Yeah, I can't fight this one, obviously, but I'm going to have to email this to them since they don't have an address. And I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to email this to them. But yeah, they're definitely going to have to appeal that one. And once again, Commissioner Snyder, for whatever reason, you know, want to make sure Linda Crosnoe gets some money. All right, so yeah, I got to print them a copy. You know, it really, like I said, if anybody can't afford to pay Crosnoe this amount of money, it's definitely them. I feel bad having to send them the email and having to give them the bad news, you know. Just for whatever reason, Commissioner Snyder is willing to give Crosnoe everything she wants, every amount of money she claims she deserves, without any legal reason for doing so. And that part just baffles me. It really does, that this is a commissioner, right? She's going to be a judge. She's moving to the Ventura County Courthouse. And yet, without any legal reason to award Miss Crosnoe money, she goes ahead and just gives it to her. Now, half of me feels like the reason she awarded her the money this time against her defendants, Thomas Baldwin and Cynthia, tenants that she had, you know, requested that they cause me grief, and then when they quit saying, no, we can't do this, and then she all of a sudden now she's kicking them out, they're squatters, they owe her money. There was no rental agreement in place. There is nothing that shows that she was supposed to get $800 a month. That, you know, other than what I showed when I filed the claim, the opposition to that claim of exemption, right? So, okay, maybe Julia Snyder, I can't say for a fact, but it feels like that Julia Snyder ruled in Crosnoe's favor in this case simply because I was in the room, just observing. You know, never said a word to Commissioner Snyder. I just observed. And I had just paid off, you know, the money that Commissioner Snyder said I had to give to Crosnoe for no legal reason, claiming that I didn't have a right to cost after judgment and everything. So, and interest. Yeah, so obviously Crosnoe's going to be doing the happy dance, but there is no way she's going to get that money from them because they don't have it. They definitely don't have it. And so I guess now Crosnoe's going to have to chase them for the next 7 years to try and get the money. 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, until the judgment date runs out. I just felt so bad having to tell this to them. I really did. And Commissioner Julia Snyder, for whatever reason, you keep granting Crosnoe money. You might want to just check in your own mind why you're doing it. Seriously, Linda Crosnoe is a scam artist, and she has 40 court cases in that courthouse. And you're the only judge that ever gives her everything she wants. All the other judges are like, we see through your scam. But you're like, yeah, here, take the money. Here's some more money. Yeah, I'm not sure what your problem is or why you fall for her scam, but obviously you do. Okay, so I printed out the paper, gave the bad news to Tom and Cynthia. It just bums me out, I guess, that I definitely got to bow out of this, you know. I can only help so much and point them in the right direction as to how to file an appeal and the time frame they got to do it in, and wish them luck because, you know, it's not my fight to fight. It really isn't. Commissioner Julia Snyder, she makes her rulings based on apparently everything but law regarding Miss Crosnoe. Because clearly was past tense, entitled to the cost after judgment and the 10% interest, and, you know, it clearly states it even on this little piece of paper that I got to give to Tom and Cynthia. If you won the case, you are entitled to collection of fees and interest for the duration of your collection. Yeah, see, it's right here. Cost after judgment, you're entitled to it, and the interest for as long as it takes you to collect that judgment awarded. Now, clearly, like I said, I was not entitled to it according to Commissioner Snyder, and every other plaintiff, every other person awarded judgment, they are, but me, I was not. Okay, I'm just going to let that, you know, go into the past there. I filed my complaint with the Judiciary Committee. Whether or not that gets looked into, it's out of my hands, right? But Tom and Cynthia, they are currently, like I said, living in their truck and hotels, depending on what the situation provides for itself at the end of the day. And Crosnoe made David Alexander, the person she filed the false elder abuse case against, live in his car after he paid rent, and she kept the money and then claimed he assaulted her and got a phony elder abuse thing. Like I said, she's got over 40 court cases in there. And fortunately, I was able to help David, and his case got dismissed. But I can't help all her tenants, you know. I can't help everybody. It's not my fight. But really, truly, when Commissioner Snyder chooses to reward Crosnoe for her actions, her perjury, in particular her perjury, and her acting and everything else in that courtroom, and treats her like she's the victim somehow in every single case, Like I said, there have been over 40 court cases in the Ventura County Courthouse. And Commissioner Julia Snyder is the only judge who has ruled in her favor consistently and just keeps giving her money. So, you know, who knows? I got a feeling in about 2 more weeks, Crosnoe is going to sue somebody else. Unfortunately, Commissioner Julia Snyder will no longer be at the Simi Valley Courthouse. She is being transferred to the, Ventura County Courthouse, and, I hope that happened because I voted for her to become a judge and told all my friends to vote for her just to get her out of the Simi Valley Courthouse. But unfortunately, when Tom and Cynthia file their appeal, they may have to look at her again. Like I said, I have to withdraw myself from that battle with Crosnoe and her tenants, Tom and Cynthia. But I will at least point them in the right direction and wish them luck. Yeah, there is no way that Tom and Cynthia will be able to pay that money. But at least, I guess Crosnoe can tell herself she won, ha 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 ha. Like she always does when she knows that she's causing somebody grief intentionally. And out of perjury. Why don't they prosecute people anymore for telling lies? I don't know, but yeah, the world's gone mad, right? People don't get arrested for stealing anymore. They don't get arrested for doing drugs anymore. They don't get arrested for assaulting people anymore. But they do get rewarded if they find a way to cause you grief, apparently, by just telling a couple little lies. Yeah, Crosnoe's got some serious karma coming. She does. And I hope I get a chance to see it happen. But even if I don't, I'm confident I'll hear what happened.
I won!
David lost the case.
I won!
Eat shit and die.
You still have respect!
Alright. I'll leave it all sometime.
You just never know which clown you'll see or what act you'll get to entail when you go to the Crosnoe Circus.